Before he gave us series like Samurai Jack or Primal, or before he gave us the Hotel Transylvania series, or the recent R-rated animated film Fixed, animator Genndy Tartakovsky gave us this fun-filled animated series, and it's been 30 years since it first premiered. The story of a little boy genius who has to deal with all sorts of troubles, especially with his warped out, crazy big sister, who always causes chaos in, well, his place where science takes place at. So now, without further ado, in this TV log, I am going to talk about Dexter's Laboratory. This is a Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews TV log. Greetings, my fellow YouTubers. Welcome again to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. I'm the Big D, back with another TV log. Today I'm going to be talking about a real fun-filled series that eventually became such a success for Cartoon Network. And a show that starting out as its, how should I say to you, flagship series before even getting more original animated series. But it wasn't their first original series, though. The first fully animated series, though. Yes. A series that focuses on an enthusiastic boy genius with a science laboratory in his bedroom, which he keeps secret from his unsuspecting parents, but is at constant odds with his older and more ex- extravagant, extravagant, extravagant sister, I apologize for mispronouncing, who regularly accesses the laboratory and inadvertently foils his experiments. What show am I talking about here? Easy. A show that came from the mind of Genndy Tartakovsky. It's Genndy Tartakovsky. I first said Genndy at first, but it's really Genndy. So now, without further ado, let us venture into the magnificent and amazing big world of Dexter's Laboratory. Dexter's Laboratory was a fun-filled, crazy comedy series with lots of sci-fi elements blended into it, produced and created by Genndy Tartakovsky. The series premiered on Cartoon Network in April of 1996 and was one of the first ever animated series to be produced by Cartoon Network Studios, which of course would be the successor to Hanna-Barbera. Okay, so Dexter's Laboratory. Well, this show originally started out as a short series, as Tartakovsky pitched the series to Fred Seibert's animated short showcase while a cartoon at Hanna-Barbera, which it after which it was picked up by Turner Broadcasting. Since some of their shows had been shown, some of their classics had been seen on CBS and TNT, as well as their recent new channel, Cartoon Network. This was based on student films he produced at the California Institute of the Arts. There were 4 pilots that originally aired on both Cartoon Network and TNT from 1995 to 96. The first pilot was called Changes and became Cartoon Network's highest rated wild cartoon short. And thus it led to a half-hour series that started on April 27th and ran for 2 big seasons with an overall total of 52 episodes. Each contained mostly 3 cartoons, and some, or maybe a few, had 2 or 1. This was also the first original series for the channel under the Cartoon Cartoons moniker. The show originally ended on June 15th, 1998. A year later, a television film called Ego Trip, which aired as an intended series finale, aired. But however, 2 years later, the series was revived for a second run. Due to Tartakovsky's departure Chris Savino served as showrunner for this, which aired for 2 more seasons. With 24 more, well, sort of it would be like 24. Well, actually, no, not 24. I mean, 26 more episodes from November 2001, yeah, November 18th, 2001 to November 20th of 2003, giving this an overall total of 78 episodes, which I am kind of getting ahead of myself, but let's go for it. Dexter is a bespectacled boy genius who lives in a suburban neighborhood with his parents, only addressed as mom and dad, and his hyperactive, carefree older sister, Dee Dee. Dexter conceals a vast secret laboratory and solves problems ranging from saving the world to defeating school bullies. But Dee Dee delights in playing haphazardly in the laboratory, wreaking havoc with Dexter's interventions. Yes. Now, for its first season, it had 2 recurring segments. First up was Dial In for Monkey, which followed an average ordinary monkey who is a pet laboratory monkey to Dexter, who is secretly a crime fighting superhero, joined by his partner Agent Honeydew and a team of assembled superheroes. Speaking of superheroes, that was the other segment. Dial In for Monkey aired for the first few episodes. Then later on, it was taken by the Justice Friends. 3 superheroes: Major Glory, Val Hallen, and the Infraggable Crunk, who shared an apartment at the Muscular Arms. Major Glory acts as a patriot, while Val Hallen wields his electric guitar and speaks between Old English and Surfer dialect. And the Infraggable Crunk is a purple monster with the intelligence of a child. According to Dan of Geek, the trio are parodies of Captain America, Thor, and Hulk that deal with mundane sitcom stuff with a superhero twist. That's true. However, after when the second season started, the series were dropped. Monkey would appear for 1 more short, and the Justice Friends had 2 more shorts. But after that, they were never seen again. They would, however, make cameo appearances in later episodes of Dexter's Laboratory. Even the Justice Friends also did make a special appearance in an episode of a later series for Cartoon Network, the Powerpuff Girls, which I will be talking about that next month. Details to follow when the schedule comes up tomorrow, okay? But anyway, this show is so fun. I watched most of it for its run, but I never did watch it again. I only watched some of the early episodes and a little bit of season 2. It took a little bit of downside, but however, I soon got back on it again when I heard more stuff was coming. And what else can I say? I actually do think it's pretty good in one of you, and very crazy. Anyway, while it wasn't just a hit with kids, it was also big with adults as well, long before Nickelodeon even introduced us to SpongeBob SquarePants. Definitely. Anyway, this was really something. Dexter became a big star as Cartoon Network viewers voted the series as Tune of the Year in '96. In April of '97, the series was awarded a Silver Pulcinella for Best Script at the Cartoons on the Bay Animation Festival in Italy. From '98 to 2000, there was a Dexter balloon featured at the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade alongside other iconic characters. It received good reviews and what have you. Shortly after the premiere of its first season, it was hailed as one of the best new series on the network, said according to Ted Cox of the Daily Herald. But anyway, it was just so big and what have you. According to the book Animation of World History, Volume 3, Contemporary Times, the series was dubbed visually and verbally innovative. And and the person who did this, well, which I can't really pronounce its name, saying that the series is to be a groundbreaking work of pop art, likening its visual style to both street art and the designs of Takashi Murakami. Just so incredible and what have you. Yes. But I had to admit it was really something and what have you. Apparently, a few years back, Tartakovsky stated that he was uninterested in attempting to reboot the series after the death of the original voice of Dexter, which I'll get to that in a bit, as well as the overabundance of recent reboots of cartoons, which Cartoon Network has already done with the Powerpuff Girls, and I wasn't thrilled with that reboot. It's just terrible. And he later joked last year that he would revive the series if his career declines. Still, the series went on to win a couple of, aside from its cartoon award, it actually won 3 Annie Awards, as well as an Online Film and Television Association Award. Dexter's Laboratory would actually become a really big success, as I've already said. It debuted in home media as a bonus tune on the Johnny Quest Race Band in the Army of One VHS release, and got to be released in numerous forms and what have you. Anyway, yes. So this is really something. Now, now in June of 2024, the complete series was released. And yes, you can get it for a good price and what have you. You can find it at Walmart. It's available with several other animated titles. I recently encountered it there. If you can't, if you don't want the DVD, no problem. The series is currently now available to watch on Tubi. I actually watched all episodes. Well, the third season's pretty good in some ways, but it kind of goes downhill a little bit. It picks up in my way. I'm kind of a little mixed, and the third and fourth seasons have their ups and downs, but still not too bad. There would also be toys as well as video games and even music from the series in a way. There was the musical Time Machine that was released through Rhino Records. 3 tracks from the series were featured on Cartoon Network's Cartoon Medley compilation album. In 2002, there was a special album called The Hip Hop Experiment, which that was really something. I've never actually heard any of these, but still, that would be pretty cool and what have you, though. But overall, I actually like Dexter's Lab for certain reasons. It's just so hysterical and what have you. It also got nominated for 4 Primetime Emmys, but never won though. There would also be books and other merchandise. But overall, I found this series to be absolutely, really, really something. Now, for some other things and what have you, there would be some other episodes that were pretty good in what have you. During the show's second season, it was in the next to last episode, and this one was called Dynamite. Dynamite, yeah, that's what it is. With a special guest appearance from Dynamite Dog Wonder and the Blue Falcon, who were actually once again voiced by their original voice actors, Gary Owens and Frank Welker. And believe me, they sound even more cool in this, as much as I liked them in the original series. But hey, I like that original show. It's still good. Anyway, it was really cool to hear the original voice actors again. And when Dexter creates a big monstrous type version, since Dynamite went kaput. But soon he was back up and going. And Blue Falcon told Dexter, remember, it's a goofy idiot psychic that makes a superhero super. Yep. And then also that included the episode Libretto, and that was when Dexter's doing it's an operatic telling of how Dexter's Lab came to be. That was a classic. Another one, this was another classic from season 2, and this was an episode called Dexter and Computers Get Mandark. Now, who's Mandark, you ask? I'm glad you asked, but you probably already know who he is from the show. He's a rival of Dexter's who was introduced in season 1. He's pretty big head, and he's always trying to think of some way to take care of Dexter and his laboratory. Ah ha! Yeah, I always like that laughter of his. Anyway, this episode was done by a kid. It was created by a Long Island resident named Tyler Samuel Lee, who submitted his idea to Tartakovsky as an audio tape at the age of 6. It was animated with crayon-like backgrounds and crudely drawn characters to visualize the imagination of a second grader. This was another classic. Dexter's always well known for his one of his famous phrases because he says that to computers. It's like, "You're stupid. You're stupid." And let's not forget, you're stupid. That cracks me up every time. There was also an episode that didn't get shown called Rude Removal, which you can find on YouTube. It was actually available on the Adult Swim YouTube channel. It's still there, actually. I don't know if it's on Adult Swim or not, but anyway. A short called Chicken Scratch debuted with the Powerpuff Girls movie in 2002 and later was broadcast in an episode of season 4. Yeah, which that was pretty comical and what have you. But there's lots of others and what have you. And I must admit, it was absolutely crazy. Now, of other shorts that were actually done for Wild Cartoon, those include Old Man Dexter and The Big Sister. That's a classic and what have you. And what else can I say? There's so many of these here shorts and what have you. I think there's just too many to mention. Damn with Dexter. Yeah, that was one of the other Wild Cartoon shorts. Oh, but there's so many shorts and what have you. There's too many to mention. If you would like for me to talk about some more episodes of Dexter's Lab, I might talk about some of them in the future. If you do want me to do them, let me know in the comment section below. Now, I like the composers for the music. That includes that's done by Thomas Chase, Steve Rucker, and Gary Linelli. The intro theme is really good, and so is the end title. They're both different tunes, but both pretty good and what have you. But anyway, Dexter's Lab, I do love it. It's really something. For the voice acting cast, here's our cast. We have for Dexter, we have Christine Cavanaugh, whom we sadly lost her in 2014. Now, she was actually the original voice of Chucky in Nickelodeon's Rugrats franchise. And also, she did this after recently voicing the titular character of Universal Pictures hit Babe, as well as lent her voices to Darkwing Duck, where she was Gosalyn, Bunny Rabbit in the Sonic the Hedgehog Saturday morning show, and Oblina from Real Monsters. She actually did Dexter for the original round of the series, and then later on was voiced by Candy Milo, who would later go on to voice the Flea in Mucha Lucha, as well as Coco and other characters on Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, and various characters on Maya and Miguel, and lots of other cartoons. Too many to mention, though. Dee Dee's original voice actress was Allison Moore for the first season and a little bit of some other episodes. Then Kat Cressida, I'm sorry if I mispronounced this, took over for most of the episodes, and that's all she wrote. Kat Susie. Most of you, yeah, Susie. I was right. Boy. Now, of course, also known for Rugrats, voicing Phil and Lil, and also Janine on the Real Ghostbusters, and let's see, ooh, what else? Oh yeah, and Linka on Captain Planet, Fifi LaFume on Tiny Toon Adventures, and lots of other cartoons voices Mom, while Dad is voiced by Jeff Bennett, who would later go on to lend his voice in numerous cartoons, which I believe one of them was another Cartoon Network series. Yes, he would go on to voice Johnny Bravo, as well as voice characters on the Powerpuff Girls and Earthworm Jim, Gargoyles, um, and also Petrie in the Land Before Time series, and Clay on Shaolin Showdown. Oh yes, and he also voiced the man with the yellow hat in the Curious George animated series. Oh yeah, and he was also Dr. Phibes and Shaggy and Scooby Doo Get a Clue. Yeah, really funny. Now, Mandark is voiced by A. Deason, who you would remember as that geeky dude Eugene from the two Grease movies, as well as he also appeared in some of the first few episodes of the original Punky Brewster. And of course, he's done numerous voice acting work. You'd recognize him. Now then, of course, we have voice guy Frank Welker providing the vocal effects for Monkey, and Katsusi voice agent Honeydew for the dial in for Monkey segment. As for the Justice Friends, Major Glory is voiced by Rob Paulson, who you knew best for being the original voice of Raphael in the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, as well as Haji in the New Adventures of Johnny Quest and the Real Adventures of Johnny Quest, as well as Yakko from Animaniacs and Pinky from Pinky and the Brain, as well as Animaniacs as well. And he's lent his voice in numerous cartoons and movies as well, and he still does to this day. While Valhallen is voiced by Tom Kenny before he did SpongeBob SquarePants, and the mayor of Townsville on the Powerpuff Girls, the actual TV series, and lots of other characters. And the Infraggable Crunk is voiced by Frank Welker. Yeah. Anyway, from what I've seen of Dexter's Laboratory, again, it's absolutely zany and crazy. So again, you can find this on physical media for a pretty good price on DVD. I don't think it's on Blu-ray, so DVD is your best chance. But if you don't have nothing like that, then I suggest you stream it, and Tubi's your best place to find it. All the episodes are there. Trust me. But anyway, after finally watching it, I'm glad to have watched Dexter's Laboratory. It's just a fun series. Of course, I'm currently watching the Powerpuff Girls on Tubi as well, but I'll talk about that later next month. Details to follow. So that's going to do it. So now you know about Dexter's Laboratory. Have you ever seen this show? I'm sure a lot of y'all did. If so, tell me in the comments section below. If you like this video, click the like button, subscribe, click the bell for notifications, and be a part of the Big D Nation. Continue to help support my channel, and you know the rest. And join me next time for my June schedule for the channel. Okay? Please stand by. So if you like this, check out some of these other videos for these other zany cartoons and what have you. In the upper left-hand corner, you can check out my recent Tvlog on the original Animaniacs. Or go to the upper right-hand corner and see my Saturday morning Tvlog on its spin-off, Pinky and the Brain. I did not so long ago this past month. Or if you'd like, check out my Saturday morning Tvlog for the character I talked about that actually made an appearance on the show, Dialma Dog Wonder. And the bottom right hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thank you for watching, and until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.